Hi, everybody. So Father's Day is just around the corner, so I wanted to start doing some masculine card for you guys to give you some ideas. This was probably one of the first stamp sets that I got from Kitchen Sink Stamps. This is a classic. This one's called Cabin by the Lake. You guys have seen me use this set to do beach sets, sunset set stamps, cards. You can use it with the cabin. You can use it without the cabin. It has clouds. It has a person in a canoe. It has these little ducks and some layered water. So I think I'm just going to do a fishing scene with just the water, the clouds, and the canoe. I'm not going to do the cabin today. Maybe we'll do that in another scene. But just make it a really quick, simple set card. So let's see here. I'm going to start with a piece of Nina Classic Crest, as we always use. And we have our little mini Misty out here. We want to leave the sponge in there for this. And I have a variety of different inks out. I'm going to use some VersaFine Clair inks and some Stampin' Up! Inks. And they are layered, so they tell you here number 1, number 2. And it's nice because the cover sheet has certain colors to give you a guide of what you should use for them. So we're going to start with the water, and this is going to be the more solid layer, this first one. And you can put the water any way. You can go up, you can go down. I do want this kind of horizon, so we are going to go down with our water. So, let's see here. I'm going to move my paper up slightly on the Misty here. And that fits almost perfectly across. Okay. So the first layer, I always stamp with the lighter color, which is going to be this new color from Stampin' Up!, which is called Seaside Spray. And if it's too light, then I do have another color that's just a little darker. Oh, I think that looks pretty good. Okay. And then we're going to go in with our second layer of the water. And for this, I mean, you really don't have to do too much with lining it up. Just giving the water a little bit more dimension, that's all. More layered look. Okay, and then for this color, I think I'll use the VersaFine Clair in Paradise. So a little bit darker blue. Alright, so we have layer 1 and layer 2. They look great. Okay. And then we can do a couple of things here. We can stamp our little canoe guy. I'm just going to put him here. Stamp him the right way instead of upside down. And it's supposed to have his reflection. So you can put him anywhere, actually. I just like him here on the horizon for this card. And I'm going to just use the VersaFine Black to ink him up. Pretty cool. So we have our guy canoeing in the lake. And now we can add some clouds. And the clouds have different layers as well. 1, 2, 3. So one is a solid one. And then there's another one down here. And then there's 2 right here. And there's 3. So you have 3 different cloud shapes that you can layer. Let me move my magnet. Let's do 2 at a time. So we'll do number 1 and number 2. I don't really think we need too many. Maybe we can do all 3 here. I'm sorry. It's 1, 2, and 3 for the different cloud sizes. So let me clarify that before we mess this up. Okay. Okay. Cloud number 1 has 3 shapes. So it's 1, 2, and 3 for the larger cloud. And then it's 1, 2, and 3 for the middle cloud. So it's 1 cloud, but it gives it dimension. 2 clouds, but it gives them dimensions with 3 different layers. Okay, hopefully that made sense. But really, it's clouds, so you can do whatever you want with it. Okay, so let's start with number 1 for cloud 1. And then number 1 for cloud 2. So we'll just do 2 little clouds, and then maybe we'll put one in somewhere else. And I'm going to do a really light color here. I don't want them to be gray. I want them to be blue, but let me see what kind of blues I have here. We'll try this Seaside Spray again, but I think it might be too dark. We're just going to go really light with those. Hopefully it's not too dark. Yeah, it's a little dark. It's not going to hurt anything. It's a bright blue sky. Okay. Now we're going to go in with our second layer to the clouds. So this is layer number 2. And you can see how they kind of just sit on top of each other. Very easy to layer. And you can turn them upside down. You know, again, because they're clouds, there's no particular right or wrong orientation. In fact, I am going to reuse cloud number 1 and flip it over just so it's coming off of this cloud over here. Like that. Okay. For the cloud number 2s, I'm going to use the Paradise from VersaFine again, and then the other cloud one, I'm going to go back in with the Seaside Spray. Okay, let me turn my music down. I didn't realize it was that loud. There we go. So now these clouds will start to layer and take some dimension and shape here. I got to tell you, this is the most versatile set that I have. I mean, I've used this for so many cards, scenery cards, masculine cards, like I said, beach cards. It's just, I love this set. This is one of those sets I consider an investment because you just use it time and time again. Okay, now this is the third layer. And again, I'm just kind of looking at how to line up the edges here. We don't want to make it too difficult. And then we want the second layer for this guy. All right, and since we're going in with a darker color, this is VersaFine Claire Bluebell. And I know I probably shouldn't have done that other one. Let me wipe that one off. Fix that one with the right color. I want everything to match up. Okay. much better. Probably should have stamped these off and made our clouds a little bit lighter, but they don't look too bad. It's not too terrible. Okay. Last cloud there. Okay, now that's pretty much my card. I want to make it really simple, but I'm going to jazz it up a tiny little bit here. I'm going to take some more of that Stampin' Up! Seaside spray, and all I'm going to do is take one of these little cheapy $5 makeup brushes from, I got this from Five Below, and I'm going to go in and start adding in some more kind of background clouds. Just sponging that color in very lightly into our sky. And we want it to look like clouds, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay if it's splotchy looking. All right, can you guys see? All right, so I think I have a pretty nice sky going on there. I'm really tempted to add some, maybe a little bit of orange or purple in the back, like the sky. Like he's out early in the morning and watching the sky come up. Should we do that? Sure, why not? Okay, so to do that, like maybe he's watching the sunrise, right? I'm going to take a little piece of either masking paper, or this is just Post-it note paper. I have a little circle punch here. If I can get my masking paper back out. There we go. And I cut it purposely so that the one end has a little bit of a flat part, so we can put that, actually put it right here. Right in the center. Why not? Okay, so it looks like he's watching the sun come up. So we want that to be kind of yellow, orangey, glowy looking. So I'm going to grab some Distress inks to match that. Looking for kind of an orange yellow color. Let's try these two. So we have some fossilized amber and some wild honey, and same thing, it's going to go in with my little blending brush, and I'm going to start with the fossilized amber, and just very gently, I'm covering my horizon here so I don't get green. Just very gently brush some of that in. I'm going to go in a little bit with the wild honey. Same thing, bring some of that in. So we have this kind of orange-yellow glow here. I'm going to pull our little sun off. little mask, and I'm going to go back in with a little bit of the wild honey and very gently just fill that in. So you can clearly see that is the sun coming up into the sky. All right, I'm going to go back in with that other brush and go into some of this Paradise Blue, which is a little bit brighter blue. Yes. And just kind of shade over my water. Okay, so we just did some really simple layered stamping, add a little bit of color. I think that's looking pretty good. And then if you wanted to add your sentiment, there's a couple of sentiment sets we have. I really like this one for my sentiments from Kitchen Sink Stamps. This one's called Whole Family. So on here you can put dad, father, you can put wonderful, two, great, wonderful, grandfather, godfather, great father. You can put Father Day, birthday, for a. So a lot of good sentiments here. Very special family. So a lot of great sentiments on here. I don't know that one. There's one that says Father's Day. There's another set I'll be using, which does have Father's Day. So keep an eye out for that video. I think on this one I will just put for a great dad. Let's just do that. Yeah, just a really simple set, but it really has quite an impact. In fact, I think I want a little more orange. Just gonna put a touch of orange on here. Let me put my stencil back into place here. Just need one more color. The blue and the yellow are kind of there, but there's not enough pop for me. Put my stencil back down. All right. Make sure I don't use the blue brush, that I use the orange brush. Okay, this one's this one. I'm going to take a little bit of spiced marmalade. Just a smidgen. All right, now you can definitely see that there is a difference between the orange and the yellow. I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera, but I can. Okay. All right. Moving on, let's stamp the sentiment. So I love this scripty font too. It's very classy. So and it's special for a very special, for a special dad, for a great dad, for a wonderful dad, for a great husband. There's a lot of things you can put on here. So I will put for a great dad. And even if somebody's not an outdoorsy person, it's just a very nice, serene scene. Being out in the canoe, nice and quiet. Okay. I just want to make sure everything looks straight. And I'm just going to stamp that in black. There we go. I'm going to do it one more time. That's what's nice about having a stamp positioning tool, is if you need to be a little darker, a little more emphasis, you can always go back in and ink some more. So there we go. If I would change anything, I would probably just make my clouds a lighter color. And like I said, put a little bit more orange in here, but it looks pretty good to me. And now you just mount it, frame it, and mount it to a card. So like we would have here. And then you have a nice card to give to your dad or grandfather or friend, uncle, whoever you have in your life that you think would like this card. Very easy masculine card to make. If you guys have any questions, post your comments down below. If you are not subscribed, click the little bell that's going to come up over here, a little bubble and a bell, and then you will get notifications every time I post a video. Thanks for watching, guys, and keep on stamping. Bye-bye.